My name is Coach Rose Peterson. I'm a certified personal trainer, both in person and online, and a certified nutrition coach. I help moms locally in Las Vegas, Nevada, and all over the world shed the weight holding them back from becoming their most energetic and authentic version of themselves so they can go after their deepest desires alongside of motherhood. You can find me at fitandconfidentmoms.com. Hey group, and wherever you're watching from, in today's edition of Tuesday Talk, we're going to talk about willpower. And we're going to talk about, do we need willpower? And if you struggle with willpower or you struggle with self-control, is that thing blocking you from achieving your goals? Well, in today's Tuesday Talk, we're going to talk about how to stick with your goals, how to be successful with your goals without willpower being in the picture. Because as you know, willpower is not something that we can always call upon, and we can empty our willpower bucket really quickly. So it's important that we don't just label ourselves with saying that we have poor willpower, poor self-control, and that's why we can't stick to our goals. Because honestly, that is a really normal struggle. So without saying I need to strengthen my willpower, what are strategies, what are things that actually help us reach our goals? If willpower does not help us reach our goals, what does? If you're new to me, my name is Coach Rose Peterson, and I am founder of RP Fitness and Nutrition and Fit and Confident Academy. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach in Las Vegas, and I help women locally here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and virtually all over the world. So if you're watching live, type live. And if you're watching the replay, type replay. Today, I'm going to go old school. We're just going to have notes because I wanted to do one without slides today. So, hey guys, thanks for watching. Say hello. Like I said, if you're watching live, say hello. I love when I see all those thumbs up, hearts popping up on screen. Okay, so let's jump right in. Hi, Sherry. We're going to talk about, this is a study that I reviewed recently that had many suggestions on what things work better than others. So this is actually going to become more of a 2 or 3 part series because I didn't want this to go on and on and on. So I wanted to come up with the 3 simple strategies for success. Now, these are things that you may even thought of, and you're like, yeah, you're right. Like, you know, this is something I've tried before, but you might have forgotten. But the thing is, the strategies that I'm going to talk about today, these have been studied. These have been reviewed, and science and research has come out to say this stuff works, and here it is. So the suggestions I'm bringing you today have been tested. They're not just like things that I just made up, okay? So that's the important part is I always bring you guys the latest science-based information when it comes to nutrition, fitness, and mindset. So make sure that you always tune in every Tuesday to get the good stuff for your goals. Okay, so the first strategy I'm going to talk about, well, actually, before I talk about the strategies, I want to kind of talk about what is the deal with willpower and what is the deal with the struggle. Okay, the struggle is there is a disagreement between what, I know it's almost like thinking of yourself in like 3 ways. So, or maybe 2 ways. So there's the future you wants to achieve a whole bunch of goals. And then there's the current you. I almost think of this in 3 people, but let's just let this play out. So there's let's say there's the you right now that's planning for the future. Okay, so there's goals that you have that you want to achieve for future you. Okay, but then when we get in the situation of the present you, there's a struggle between like what it is that you're planning for, what it is for the future, and then where you're at in the moment, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So in that struggle, that's where people feel like, oh my gosh, my willpower sucks today, or I have little self-control over, you know, when my favorite food is right in front of me. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about the strategies that are going to help us with success when we are facing these type of struggles, or so that we don't have to face the struggle of what current you wants and what future you wants, if that makes sense. All right. So let me know in the comments, do you struggle with self-control? Do you feel like you don't have self-control? What are your thoughts on willpower? All these little things will help me create content for the future. That way I can continue to help you guys with tons of great value. So we keep showing up and keep supporting each other. Okay. So the first thing that was in the study was absolutely, it's a struggle. Yes. So some of these words that I picked up on the study is very scientific based. And so I'm going to translate for you guys on what this actually means. So one of the strategies that was described in this study was called a commitment device. We need to use commitment devices to help us not have to utilize willpower. So what is a commitment device? So a commitment device is something that you self-impose a constraint. For example, let's say that, hold on, let me read my notes really quick. Okay, so people tend to make better, more self-controlled choices when they've already decided about the future than in the present. What this means is, let's say if you know for sure that tomorrow you and your girlfriends are going to go to brunch. If you make the decision ahead of time what you're going to order, you are more likely to stick with that decision that is in line with what future you want, so what's in line with your goals, than if you make the decision when you're at the brunch table. So does that make sense? So if you go into this brunch saying like, okay, I've looked at the menu, I know what my calorie goal is for today, I know what my macro goal is for today, and I know exactly what I'm going to order, you will be more successful and on task than if you show up to the brunch and say, oh my gosh, I'm on this plan right now. What can I order that's going to help me stay in line with my plan? Oh my gosh, like those nachos look so good. You know, like maybe I'm going to choose that for today and then tomorrow we'll start over. Does that make sense? Like if you choose ahead of time, you already put this commitment in place, you have a plan in place, you are more likely to stick to the plan if it is set ahead of time. And Sherry says that makes so much sense. Yes. Okay, so that's one example. Another example is something I do with my clients for coaching. So you guys get some free coaching here. Some of you may have experience with tracking your calories, tracking in an app. Maybe you do a food diary. You are actually going to be more successful with your meal plan if you plan ahead of time, same thing, than if you're tracking on the go. So if say tonight before you go to bed, you plan out your calories in your app for tomorrow, you are more likely going to be set up for success because you've already chosen what you're going to eat for the day ahead. Now, if you want to go a step ahead of that and ensure yourself even more success, it is if you do some kind of preparation before that. So whether if you pre-planned your meals in the app, let's say the next morning you set out the ingredients, or you do some chopping, or you pack your lunch. If your food is ready to go, one more step, you're going to be even likelier to stick to the plan. Okay. Another example of a commitment device, and that we're going to step away from food a little bit, is deciding that you're going to stop the thing that's getting in your way. You're making a commitment. So for example, say you waste time on a game on your phone, okay? And you know that this game on your phone is a huge time suck. You make the commitment to save your time for future you by just deleting the phone app off your phone completely, the distracting app. So that's one way. Or another commitment device or a commitment, some kind of constraint you put on yourself could be an app that monitors your screen time. So maybe there's an app that you lock yourself out after you've been on social media for 30 minutes. That's another example of putting some kind of commitment device to help you stick to your goal. So you're not just relying on the present moment, because, 8 times out of 10, whatever we're feeling in the moment is going to override any planning that we did in the future, right? So let's say you plan to resolute, I'm going to reduce my video game intake without actually making some kind of commitment device, like a timer, like deleting the app altogether. You more likely will fall into the motion, the feeling like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, I just want to do some mindless scrolling. In the moment, you will more likely submit to that. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Have you guys ever tried anything like that with your goals, like some kind of timer or an app that limits your screen time? And I would love to know, have you had success with that? So those are just a couple of examples of a self-imposed constraint, okay, that's going to prevent you from doing some self-defeating future action. All right. Alarm alerts. I like that. So the importance of all of this is being super mindful that you're going to complete the action, right? So setting an alarm, instead of just saying 30 minutes from now, I'm going to get off the computer, you need to use things that are going to actually help constrain the unwanted activity. Okay. All right. So the next strategy is called temptation bundling. Temptation bundling. And I need to figure out a way of making that a more fun way to say. But basically what you're doing is you're going to bundle an activity that you love doing with the activity that maybe you don't love so much. For example, if you need to be exercising more, and let's say you want to get more movement in, you want to get more steps, something that you might, hey, Eduardo, good morning in the Philippines. Something that you might do is there's a current Netflix show out right now, like Stranger Things is out. People are binge watching that right now. Give yourself permission to binge watch Stranger Things only if you are walking on a treadmill, or only if you are spinning on the bike. So bundling one rewarding thing with the thing that you're struggling to complete, so that you actually look forward to the thing. Does that make sense? So if you have in your schedule 60 minutes of walking, but you're telling yourself you can only have Stranger Things during your walking time, you are more likely to complete the walking. Okay. So in a 2014 study that was done, participants that were exercising, okay, I'm going to get this all wrong. So there's a 2014 study that told participants that you can enjoy this audiobook only while exercising. Okay, so 58% more participants actually did the workout. Okay, so being enticed by getting ready to listen to audiobooks that they enjoyed, they were 58% more likely to complete the exercise. Okay, so that's just one example. How can we apply this somewhere else? So there's also the idea of listening to things that you enjoy during a task that you don't enjoy. And you probably already do this. So Sherry just said podcasts. So let's say meal prep. Maybe there is certain podcasts that you want to listen to while you're meal prepping. So you want to reward yourself with listening to enjoyable music, a podcast you enjoy, so that meal prep goes by quicker. And studies show when you bundle something you enjoy with something that maybe you don't enjoy so much, you're more likely to complete it. Okay, so that was suggestion number 2, temptation bundling. Okay, and then the last one is called modify your situation, which I have put into terms of changing your environment. But I kind of also like modify your situation, because I feel like modifying your situation can apply to a lot of things. So anyway, in the study, they called it modify your situation. So what these researchers did is they did two different studies on high school and college students, okay? And they wanted to help these students improve their study time, their like retention after they're studying, their commitment to studying. And so they took two different groups. One group, they explained to them how to avoid temptations and remove them from their situation. So they talked about different temptations that can distract them from their studying, and they taught them to avoid them in different strategies. And then the second group, they gave them no strategies at all, or they told them use your willpower to study. Use willpower to study. So they didn't tell them remove the distracting things. So of course, in both studies, the students that removed the distractions got better at achieving their study goals, and they were more efficient at their studying. Okay, so I know that probably makes more sense to you, like, duh, remove the distracting thing. But sometimes we don't realize what's a great solution unless it's like the thing that's distracting us is actually removed, or unless somebody like a coach or therapist or friend or supporter says to you, hey, like, maybe if we remove this from the situation, you'll be able to concentrate better. Okay, I'm getting an Amazon delivery right now. So he gets to hear these tips as well. So another example, and somebody just put on here, I have my husband hide snacks that we have around, out of sight, out of mind. That is the perfect piece of advice there right now. So changing your environment, one example could be a kitchen clean out. So if there are items if you have a weight loss goal and there are foods in your house that don't align with your weight loss goal, you are going to eat it. It's like even if you hide it, you are going to eat it. So now the person that said, oh, I have my husband hide it. Okay, the husband knows where it is, so you more likely won't. But if you know where it is, even if you hide it, even if you put it on a high shelf, you're going to eat it. So removing the distraction, right? So removing the food that is not in line with your goal, that is going to help you stick to your goal without having to exercise the willpower. That's the thing, is we don't want to have to exercise willpower. If you think about willpower as a bucket, right? And you only have a certain amount, like let's just say I have this drink right now, okay? And let's say at the beginning of the day, I have a better example. On Monday, your willpower bucket is completely full, and this is your willpower, okay? By Tuesday night, it's right here. By Wednesday, most people throw everything out the window, okay? Monday and Tuesday are awesome. By Wednesday, you're mentally exhausted to have to use up all of that willpower. Okay, so willpower is not something that we have all the time, and we can't not necessarily refill it all the time. Okay, so we got to think of strategies to help us stick to our goal that doesn't rely on willpower. So another one, the change in environment. One of my clients right now is having a lot of success with Monday through Friday. Even though we strength train only 3 times a week, she schedules in her plan, and she's got an alarm and it's all set for 1 p.m. She goes to the gym no matter what, even when she doesn't feel like it. She's a virtual client right away, by the way. So she knows that she has to make this appointment with herself, leave the house so that she gets it done. So even though she only strength trains 3 times a week, she makes sure that she stays consistent by leaving the house at 1 o'clock, so that keeps her gym consistency. For her, in her particular situation, she knows herself enough that she won't get it done if she works out from home. She has to leave her house and go to the gym because the change in environment is going to help her stay motivated. So even if she doesn't feel like it, hair's messed up, she's tired, drained from the day, she's committed to leaving the house and showing up, and whatever energy she has on that day, it just being in that different environment helps her get into workout mode. Have you ever like driven to the gym and stayed in your car and procrastinating getting out of the car because you know you have to work out, but you're like not motivated? Just getting out of the car and into the gym changes everything like a light switch, right? So changing your environment will help you stick to your goal, modify your situation. So don't sit in the car where you're more likely to be lazy and there's nobody around that's working out. But if you change your situation and go into that gym environment and everyone around you is working out, you're like, you know what? I'm here. Let me just do a few things and I'm just going to show up with what I got. 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up having a great workout and surprising yourself and be like, oh, wow, that wasn't that bad. Even though I really didn't want to go do this, I drove here, I changed my environment, I got it done. So let me know in the comments, are you a home exerciser or do you need to leave your house to get it done? So I'm like 50-50, but I have a home gym, but I am more successful with my training when I join a group of people that are also trained, not a group, but if I leave my house and go in the environment. So for me, I train in Olympic weightlifting. I need to be with other Olympic weightlifters. Even if I'm having a crappy day, just being in the same room and being in that environment helps me so much. So let me know. I would love to know. Same 50-50, but when I leave, I do better. Yeah, I mean, I will train on my own when I have to, like when my scheduling doesn't allow, but I do better with other people. And my clients, especially the ones that are virtual, they do better knowing that they have some accountability and some coaching. So even if they don't see me in person, knowing that I've already written this program for them and they leave to go to the gym to get it done, that is a game changer for them with that extra accountability and support, changing their environment. So Sherry says, I go through phases. Right now, I'm okay working out by myself, but other times I need the social interaction to motivate me. Totally normal. Totally normal. And I go through phases as well of being really diligent, training by myself. And then other times I need to, and Sherry says, I'm loving the workout program from this month too. Awesome. I'm getting a lot of good feedback about this month's training. All right, you guys. So to wrap up, we have 3 strategies you can try without utilizing willpower. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to recap. One is temptation bundling. So bundling something you enjoy with something you don't enjoy, like binge watching while walking, or maybe you're going to do your home workout program while your favorite music is running behind you. You have like a pumped up playlist. Idea number 2 is modify your situation or change your environment. So if there are foods that you know that aren't in alignment with your goal, maybe you remove that food, okay? And then the third idea is a commitment device. So, which I need to find another name for. So if you have another name for that, that's like, more relatable, I would love to know it. But a commitment device just means that you commit to a future change that makes it hard for you not to undo that. For example, picking out what you're going to order at the restaurant before you get to the restaurant. That way, no decisions have to be made in the moment. You've already committed to what you've chosen. Another example is, let's say you're trying to reduce social media time. You can get apps that force you to reduce your social media time or delete the app altogether. So that way you're not tempted. So you make this external commitment, like choosing your meal ahead of time, maybe ordering meal prep so you have food getting delivered and that's the food that you have to stick to help you stick to your goals. Maybe you got the kids involved and you meal prepped on Sunday. You have all your meals ready. You got no excuse to falter to, eating donuts in the break room because you're prepared. So those are some examples of commitment devices. Now, next week, we're going to have an amazing guest speaker. Her name is Ashley Burney from Heart to Heart LLC. She runs an amazing, I want to say, organization that helps empower and uplift other women through events like Your Bold is Beautiful, which is amazing. I've always enjoyed her events. She's going to come on and talk about her journey and talk more about what Heart to Heart LLC does to help empower women right here in Las Vegas. So it's going to be a great talk. You don't want to miss this. Her story is super inspiring. So if you need a boost, some inspiration, and you want to learn more about attending women's empowerment events in Las Vegas, come to next Tuesday talk next week. And then we're going to go back to willpower and strategies for overcoming them for the rest of the month, because this study, you guys, this was a huge study done. There's several strategies on here. I'm only going to go over the best ones, but we're going to keep going with this willpower topic for June. So make sure you put in your calendar Tuesday talks every Tuesday inside Fit and Confident Moms. And we're streaming live on YouTube now. So if you ever miss one, you can go over to YouTube, check out the replay, and make sure to subscribe, all right, so that you get notified. And that helps me a lot so that my talks and these trainings can reach more people the more subscribers I get. Okay, so we'll be helping others as well. All right, you guys, so would love to hear your feedback. Which one are you going to try? I would love to know. And until next time, this is Coach Rose rooting for you to try something new, like one of these 3 things in 2022. See you guys later. Bye-bye.